picture. World Championship bronze medalist Felix Krusman for Germany, European bronze. Abbas Said, who's the reigning Paralympic champion for Tunisia in T38. McKillop is the T37 Paralympic champion. It's really congested across the track here. So on the outside, first major championship, Namibia. The man from Windhoek for Namibia, Petrus Karuli. Inside him for Tunisia, the 2015 world champion, the reigning Paralympic champion in T38, Abbas Saidi. Alongside him for Ireland, 7th in the European Championship final last year and a quarter-finalist in the Paralympic football in Rio, David Levy of Belfast. Inside him for Algeria, bronze in the Paralympic Games in Rio and bronze in the last 2 World Championships, Majid Jemai. Inside him for Spain, 5th in the 800 meters final in the Europeans in Grosseto in 2016, Mohamed Reis. Inside him, bronze in the 1500 meters in last year's European Championships in Berlin, Felix Krusman. Inside him for Algeria, 4th in the 1500 meters, 5th in the 8th in the last World Championships in London, Abdelkrim KRAI.
Drawn 9 for New Zealand.
Inside him for New Zealand, based in Auckland, bronze in the 400 and the 800 in the last World Championships in London, Keegan Pitcher.
Drawn 8 for Belgium.
Inside him for Belgium in his 4th World Championship, 4th in the 800 and the 1500 in the Europeans in Swansea in 2014, Basile Meunier. Inside him for France, the 800, 1500 meters European champion in 2016, Louis Radius. Inside him for Denmark, 6th in the 1500 meters in last year's European Championships in Berlin, Anders Lagergren. Inside him, the 4 times Paralympic, 9 times world champion for Ireland, Michael McKillop. Inside him for France, the European 1500 meters champion in Berlin last year from Amiens, Redouane Anouni Bouzidi.
Drawn 3, ranked number 1 in the world.
Inside him for Canada, the new Pan Am champion, Nate Reich for Canada. Inside him for Australia, the T38 defending world champion, Deon KENZIE. And on the inside, silver in the last World Championships in London, silver in the Paralympic Games in Rio, Liam Stanley. Stanley was called into the para-athletics team when the para-football team did not qualify for Rio. Massive field, they've combined the categories. 16 in it, the men's 1500 meters T38 final. What an amount of jostling we're going to see. And look at the Dane go. Lagergren has shot way out in front. And he's not the only one. This is Petrus Karuli of Namibia, who's moved up into 2nd place in his major championship debut. They are so spread out. Tucked right in the middle, Deon KENZIE for Australia in 5th spot alongside Felix Krusman for Germany. He's really gone for this straight away, has Lagergren. So many champions in this, so many green singlets in this as well for Algeria and Ireland. Lagergren has gone out for this really early. T38, T37's coordination impairment, the 2 strongest categories of this. And Karuli right behind him. Have they gone too early? We'll have to wait and see. The peloton being led by the Canadian Nate Reich.
Well, Lagergren and Karuli are just gradually slowing the pace down now, so you would expect that Liam Stanley in 3rd position Deon KENZIE in there as well. You would expect them to come through. Michael McKillop, always a very good finisher in these type of events, but they packed out, and the peloton, as you quite rightly mentioned, are chasing them down, but still out in front. It is Anders Lagergren and Petrus Karuli of Denmark and Namibia who are there at the moment, but the pack are now catching up to them, and they are really winding them in. I think Lagergren has gone out way too quick in this coordination impairment category. He's dropped back. Karuli's taking the lead. And also coming around the outside, it's the load and load of runners all by themselves there, stretching around. It's KRAI of Algeria. RIECH almost falls over in Canada there. He's been knocked by the Algerian as they come around with 2 laps remaining, but the leaders have been pushed right back at the moment. There's a lot of jostling going on in the pack as the 2 who are out in front, Lagergren and Karuli, have dropped back in the field and almost knocked a few of the runners as they've really tightened up and gone back in this coordination impairment category. So we've split. We've got around 700 metres remaining in this race. Who is going to take the gold medal come the end of it? It's tight, it's tough, and the speed is now starting to pick up.
There's a large amount of Danish fans around us who are really enjoying Anders Lagergren's time at the front, but up front now for Canada. Moving up is RIECH, the Pan Am champion. Fastest in the world this year, 3:57 dead, and it's really stretching out. Algeria trying to make a little bit of move up as well through KRAI, and on the outside for Australia is Deon KENZIE. They've combined the categories here. Michael McKillop is in 5th place at the moment for Ireland. Stanley on his outside, the World and Paralympic silver medalist. Canada with 2 of the top 4 right now. Here comes the bell, and it's RIECH who leads the way for Canada. Immediately behind him at the bell for Algeria is KRAI. KENZIE is up there also. Stanley in 4th place and McKillop in 5th for Ireland, who's had so many great years down through the years, but look at that gap, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Nate RIECH out in front from Victoria in British Columbia. What a sporting heritage he's had as well. KRAI in 2nd place, KENZIE in 3rd. That is a massive gap. That's something like 40 metres. That is Michael McKillop territory, and he's back down in 5th at the moment. KRAI in 2nd spot for Algeria. A big fight for the silver, but surely the gold medal is already decided. So many greats in the family. His father, Todd, threw javelin for the United States in the Paralympic Games. Mother, Arden, a pole vaulter. Granddad, Jim Harrison, played for the Maple Leafs. It's gold for Canada. Nate RIECH, 4:02.05. 2nd place for Algeria's KRAI. KENZIE is 4th. 3rd for Australia, and 4th for Ireland is the multi-global champion, 13 times over, Michael McKillop. 4:02, an impressive time, a championship record for Nate RIECH. And the world record holder, 3:57 dead, set in Burnaby back in June, is the world champion for the first time. A massive field in this, and Nate RIECH takes his first world title in his first global championship. A massive amount. KRAI with a new African record in 2nd, and KENZIE 3rd for Australia, and McKillop in his own T37 has set a new championship record in 4th. Stanley in 5th with a new America's record in T37. Well, if they split them up, it would have been McKillop and Stanley 1st and 2nd in the 37, so Jemai in 3rd, but they were all together. RIECH, KRAI and KENZIE in the 1, 2, 3.
Well, KENZIE's championship record that he set 2 years ago in London is gone in a big way. RIECH with a brilliant finish. He stretched out after the early leaders of Lagergren and Karuli had fallen back in the field. They almost tripped RIECH as he went through. He held his feet, he held his discipline, and he held the win as he went out by a long distance with a tongue out as he goes across the line. He knows he's done it. He knows he's picked up a championship record, and he's done it in a quite brilliant fashion indeed. 16 runners in the field, 2 went out early, but after that, they got pulled back.
And there is the passing of the baton from McKillop to RIECH. RIECH takes the world title, but they are separate categories. McKillop